Look at this. A little music for the interview.
Hey, it's Cortney Hicks. Thanks so much for logging on to MyMagicDC.com. We are having so much fun at the 2013 Washington Home and Garden Show, and I'm a big fan of PBS. So when I saw this area here, I said, I need to ask the expert, what really happens when someone brings something to you and they think it might be worth something, and then you see their face and their heart just broken when it's worth nothing. So the expert here is Matthew Quinn. And what about that? I mean, how do you know right off when something might be about something, or when, bless their hearts, they don't really?
The first thing you ask is, what's the purpose of the appraisal? What do they want to know? Because most things we see, 95% of things we see, don't have a lot of value.
Okay.
Far more, personal value, family value than they're going to have as far as monetary value goes. So you look and try to answer the question for the client. It helps ease the fact that it may be worth $5 or $7. And so we go through and we tell them, no, occasionally you find surprises.
Yeah.
And part of what we do is figure those surprises out and then hopefully make a few people's day.
Sure.
Yes. Typical in an Antiques Roadshow day, when we do Antiques Roadshow, you're going to see 10 to 12,000 items come through the door. There's 90 appraisers at the tables. We're looking at stuff very fast.
Right.
And then we go through 90 of those items get selected to be taped. And about 60 of those make the air.
Yeah.
So it's 60 items that make the air that you see on TV of the 12,000 we started with.
Yeah. I just feel so bad for the people who think they bring something and they think it's...
Everyone has opinions, and we try to help realize what's important. The memories, the value of the intrinsic value of the memories of the pieces. It's not always the monetary value.
Yeah.
If we can find monetary value, that's great. But you don't always do it.
Yeah. Recently in the news, I just caught bits and pieces of it. There was a bowl out of China worth millions, and I guess the other half, or the other part of the set has been in a museum for years. Sometimes things like that happen, and that is amazing to me. That it was just in somebody's kitchen or on the shelf somewhere.
But I think in that particular story, they're talking about being bought at a yard sale a few years ago, and those things do happen. They're few and far between. We hear stories on the news all the time where somebody donated something to Goodwill or somewhere, they left it there, and it turned out to be a valuable piece, and then they rep the reward. Chinese pieces are very hard to distinguish. There's incredible value in Chinese right now. The market's incredibly hot. Slowing a little bit. It has many market forces to play with that. But a lot of it is the Chinese repatriated items back to China. So you have to. There's also a lot of fraud. So you got to watch out to make sure the items that have been bought actually are paid for at auction, and that you go through the motions to find that. But Chinese is really hot. There are pieces out there that people don't realize, and we find them a lot. And it's not uncommon to turn a $50,000, $100,000 piece that somebody didn't know they had.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
It happens sometimes. And on a regular basis, when you don't realize it's a $500 piece or a $10,000 piece, and we find probably 10, 12, 15 items a year that are $10,000 surprises that people didn't realize they had. So it just depends.
Matthew Quinn, he is the expert. That's why you need to get down here to the DC Convention Center. It is all about the 2013 Washington Home and Garden Show. Can they actually bring a piece in for you?
They can bring items here. We're going to be doing them. We're basically doing them all the time. The sign says 6 to 8 tonight, 2 to 4 tomorrow. $10 donation to Habitat for Humanity. We need two items and go on from there.
That's great. Thank you so much.
No problem.
You're definitely an expert. Who knew? Thanks so much for logging on to MyMagicDC.com.